Today's lecture is on the 4 story types and story mining. So, how we understand which story we want to tell and how we get meaningful stories from our organizations. So, the strategic questions that we need to ask are: what story type serves which strategic purpose? Arts organizations operate with limited time and limited resources, making it essential to be strategic about storytelling. The question is not just how to craft stories, but which stories we need to tell, which stories to prioritize so that we achieve maximum impact. Strategic storytelling involves aligning narratives with organizational goals, audience needs, and available resources. By focusing on stories that resonate deeply with stakeholders, organizations can drive engagement, build trust, and inspire action. Each story needs to serve a purpose, whether it is to attract new patrons, secure funding, or strengthen internal alignment, which is internal comms. The strategic question emphasizes intentionality, choosing stories that advance mission objectives rather than telling stories because they're cool. This mindset helps arts organizations avoid wasted effort and concentrate on narratives that deliver measurable outcomes. There are 4 types of stories in Kindra Hall's book: the value story, the founder story, the purpose story, and the customer story. And we're going to take a look at each of those. Starting with the value story, a value story communicates transformation that an audience experiences rather than focusing on features or technical details. It answers the question, why should I care? And is most effective for converting prospects and for driving action. This type of story highlights the emotional or practical benefits of engaging with the organization and illustrates how lives are enriched through participation. For arts organization, this could mean showcasing moments of profound connection during performances or exhibitions. You want to frame offerings as transformative experiences. Value stories create urgency and relevance, motivating audiences to subscribe, to donate, or to attend events. They are particularly powerful in marketing campaigns and appeals where the goal is immediate engagement. The founder story establishes credibility and trust by sharing the origin narrative. They answer questions like, why you? Why this organization? And why should I believe in you? These stories include pivotal moments that inspired the creation of the organization. They should demonstrate authenticity and commitment. For arts nonprofits, founder stories are invaluable in contexts such as capital campaigns, planned giving, grant application, where stakeholders seek assurance of stability and vision. By humanizing the organization and by highlighting the foundational values that the founders held, these stories foster deep connection with donors, board members, and partners. They serve as a reminder that the organization was built with purpose and with passion, reinforcing its legitimacy and long-term goals. Purpose stories talk about the why behind an organization's existence, focusing on the change it seeks to create in the world. They are motivational. They answer the question, what do you stand for? Because of that, they are well suited, best suited, probably, for internal alignment, to speak to employees, right? To explain to people why they're here, what makes this job worthwhile. It's also useful for attracting stakeholders who share similar values. For an arts organization specifically, this might involve expressing beliefs about the role of art in society, such as fostering empathy, cultural understanding, or community cohesion. These stories are essential for staff meetings, board orientations, and donor cultivation efforts where mission alignment is critical. By clearly communicating purpose, organizations inspire loyalty and commitment, ensuring that everyone involved understands and supports the overarching vision. A customer story provides social proof through authentic testimonials, answering the question, is this right for me? Will this work for me? They showcase real experiences from patrons, donors, artists, or community members, demonstrating tangible results and emotional impact. These stories are particularly effective in overcoming skepticism and building confidence among potential supporters. For arts nonprofits, customer stories can be featured on websites, in donor spotlights, or during peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. By highlighting relatable experiences, these narratives create trust and encourage participation, showing that engagement leads to meaningful outcomes. They are a powerful tool for reinforcing credibility and illustrating the organization's value through lived experiences. To recap, this is how we use these four story types in arts nonprofits. So when we're talking about applications of these story types, value stories focus on emotional experiences that capture transformative moments during a performance or an exhibition. Founder stories highlight personal realizations that inspired the founding of the arts organizations, and this can be key for campaigns and for grants. Purpose stories communicate beliefs about art's societal role to engage mission-driven supporters and internal teams, and customer stories share authentic experiences from patrons, donors, and artists to build trust and community connections. Now let's talk about story mining. What is story mining? Story mining is finding the stories, those four types of stories that work best that you should be telling. Many organizations underestimate exactly how many stories that they can find, the abundance of stories that exist in their organization. The challenge lies not because they're scarce, not because there's not enough of them, but how you actively find them and capture them in an authentic manner. Effective story mining involves looking in places where authentic experiences are shared, such as thank you notes, post-event surveys, and social media comments. You want to check in with frontline staff, including box office personnel and educators, because these people often are the witnesses of moments of emotional significance that can become powerful stories. Longtime donors and volunteers also provide rich insights into the organization's impact. A practical approach includes asking the magic question, who made your day better this week? This simple inquiry uncovers meaningful interactions that reflect the organization's values and influence. By institutionalizing story mining practices, arts nonprofits can build a robust repository of narratives for strategic use. You want to match your stories to your goals. Different stories serve different purposes. And by aligning these stories with organizational goals, you ensure that they are used with maximum effectiveness. For building awareness, customer stories are ideal because they showcase relatable experiences. They show what a future customer can experience, right, using the stories of people who've experienced it already. When you're looking to establish trust, founder stories provide credibility and authenticity. Value stories highlight transformation and urgency and can drive action. Internal alignment benefits from purpose stories that reinforce shared values and mission. And finally, building loyalty often involves a combination of customer stories and purpose stories, creating that emotional connection and ideological alignment. By strategically matching story types to specific objectives, arts organizations can optimize their communication efforts and achieve desired outcomes across marketing, fundraising, and engagement initiatives. So you need to determine what sorts of stories you need to tell. What is your current goal or objective? And then you need to look for the places where you can find those stories in your organization, which usually involves not talking to the people at the top, but talking to the people much lower down the pyramid. And by looking at the authentic bits of communication that you get, for instance, from your customers, things where they're not, you take the idea for the story from things that people have given you organically. And then you want to make sure when you're gathering the story that you have the most authentic narrative possible.